When we get up in the morning, along with coffee, toast, and cake. If you're like the old Stone Roadie, you like to wake and bake. Now let's join Craig, Reed, and Griff Martin as we head out on the road. So sit right back, buckle right in. It's a Wake and Bake Morning Show. It's a Wake and Bake Morning Show. It's a Wake and Bake Morning Show. Good morning.
Podcast 173 of the Stoned Roadie Show. Wake and Bake number 54. May 24th, 2024. Action. Alrighty then, looky here. We got us a Friday morning Wake and Bake on the Stone Roadie Show, and we're shaking it up, baby, now. We're going to shake it up now, and we're going to pick a winner right now. Yeah, we ain't going to wait like we usually do. We're just gonna do it right now, but we're just shaking it up, baby, now. And we're shaking it up now, and here we go. We're gonna pick a winner right now for the drawing this week on the Stone Roadie Show. And here it is. We're coming up with it right here now. And there it is. It's number oh, wow, look at that.
53.
Number 53.
Oh, my.
Wow. Started to give away 51 just the other day. 53. I wonder who number 53 is out there. Car 53, where are you? Oh, well.
Yeah, who's going to be 53?
Car 50. Oh, looky there. 53. There it is.
Oh my God, how in the hell you pronounce that? Ultivore.
Ultivore.
Okay. All righty then. Ultivore.
Alrighty. 53.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the winner this week.
That's got to be a name I've never heard of before.
Nope.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Might be a nickname. We don't know. Maybe it's an alien.
It sounds like a female part of the body anatomy.
No, don't make making fun of it. We don't know what her name is. I might have it wrong, but they know who they are, I think. But anyways, whoever you are, yeah. That's how you wrote it down on your email. That's what it said on their email. I don't really know what their name was, but they do.
Yeah, they do. I'm sure it has some kind of a meaning.
So just, write the Stoned Roadie, just return your mail, because that's how you send it. And, yeah, you're a winner.
Yeah, and tell Craig, hey, I am recognizing that I have won, and I'm number 53. And then he'll get it right out to you.
Yeah, actually, I'm working on that. I really.
Oh yeah, yeah. You said that about 5 times ago.
Well, there's a purpose for all this, but I've been holding up on you. Yeah, see, as we've been going along, I've been getting things added to.
Well, it's a process. It's a process.
Yeah, stuff like this. Everybody's going to get one of these, No.
Yeah, your heroin picture.
Yeah, my heroin picture. Not that you really want to, but write to me or tell me if you wanted me to sign it there on my belly, or if you don't want me to deface it or whatever, or if you want me to write something on there or whatever. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah. And what else do they get?
Oh well, whatever they won for that week. I'm just, I think we're giving away.
No, I mean for today.
Oh well, today they won the Rustin and Collins um
Oh,
band.
they didn't win that picture?
Everybody's gonna win that. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
everybody. The whole shoot match. Everybody from the beginning to the end is gonna.
Gotcha.
They're gonna. Yeah, they're get all this stuff. It saved me from sending it out twice, so I just sent it out once. That's my excuse, anyway. Yeah, but all this stuff, Dave's sending me this stuff, extra stuff. I don't know. I thought I had it all here together, but I don't.
Well, they'll know what it is when they
It's
get it.
early. Yeah. Before, yeah.
It's a bag of goodies.
Yeah, this is Friday. Probably by Monday I'll have it figured out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. I hope I do. Anyways, just depends.
Yeah, it's some cool stuff. I can vouch for that. Yeah, it's some cool stuff. So
Yeah, and then everybody's gonna get one of them $50, and I'm still working on the document.
yeah, the $50, and it was on the airplane when it crashed.
Yeah. That's a fact. Yep. That's a
And
fact.
you get a letter of authenticity.
Yep, they do. That it was actually on the plane in my coin collection that I had with me. Yep.
So your ex-wife wouldn't get it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so that's so congratulations, number 53 to Ultivore. And make sure you send Craig the email and confirm your winnings.
Yeah. We probably tripped them up too. They're used to us doing this at the very end, so they just probably hit fast forward and think we didn't do one today, and then we fooled them and did it at the beginning.
Yeah, and Craig was saying that Ed King did that one time. He said, "Let's take the set list and flip it."
They did, yeah. Ed said, "Let's just play the set backwards, except we'll do Freebird as the encore." So they came out and played "Sweet Home Alabama" first song. Then they finished with MCA, and it was just like a normal set.
I wonder if it's hard to do that though. I mean, you know the songs, but you also,
I don't think it would be. I don't know.
I mean, as long as you have it written down, because
Well, yeah, we had to put the set list, so yeah.
yeah, so
Those are
you get used to what song follows what song.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, sometimes you lose track that way, but especially if you're stoned, but
Or drunk.
and they were definitely drinking
Or
during
been
the show.
drinking, yeah.
Did they finally sober up?
Not while I was with them.
Well, Gene claims he had them all sobered up.
He tried. Yeah, he tried.
They probably say, "Here he comes. Here comes the tattletale."
They probably cut back a little bit, but never did stop or come close to stopping.
They were just hiding it better, probably.
Yeah, it was, it was a thought. That's the thought that counts.
Never affected the music, though.
No,
right?
no.
I mean,
No.
there was a guy at he sent me an email or a message. I tell you what, Craig, I get so many emails and messages and texts, and I can't keep track. And sometimes I get tired of staring at the damn phone and the computer. I mean, I know, these people are trying to help and they're sending stuff in. This one guy sent in a really interesting story. I'll have to go find it. It might have been in my Facebook messages. And he was talking about how Alan Collins was, or Ronnie was singing, and he was sloppy drunk. And Alan Collins was calling him a drunk up on the stage. And I think he passed out or something on the stage, and they had to stop. You remember that?
Nothing like that happened in that sequence. I mean, he did pass out a couple of times, but it wasn't from being drunk.
And I forget where it was. Yeah, I'll have to
It
find
might
that.
have had something to do with it, but he's his throat exhaustion and his throat. He spit up blood a bunch of times. It was the time he passed out, and he was
Did Alan ever make fun of him while he was singing?
no,
That's what the guy said. So
no,
he
uh-uh.
said he was there.
No. Well, he thought
Yeah.
he was there. That never happened. In my opinion, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you were there too. So, but yeah. Well, okay. I'm kind of a little bit now. That's got me messed up. I don't even know where I'm at now because you did the drawing first, so I'm all mixed up. But but yeah, we'll just do what we normally do. And I got some good news. Is I went fishing with Gene Odom, and I got the video edited, and we're going to be able to put it on at the end of this podcast. So I told you it probably wouldn't happen the end of this week, and it happened the first of the week. But had a really good time fishing with Gene, and I got skunked, but Gene didn't. So I got a little video of him, and he lost a fish and caught a fish. I had him telling a story about Ronnie, one of Ronnie's hats that he gave, or two of Ronnie's hats that he gave to Gene, and while he was, I had the camera on him, and he was telling the story. A damn big bass took the bait and pulled it down into the bottom of the damn lily pads, and he was pissed, man. He was like, the best bite of the day, and you had me telling a damn story. So he was a little aggravated about that, but we had a good time. And yeah, I'll put that on the end of the podcast. And you got some good news about, speaking of a hat, right?
Yeah, I got more accurate news about the hat that cousin Figel has. I was under the influence. It was black, but it's actually one of the white ones.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
it actually says Ronnie never wore it. It actually says in memory of Ronnie Van Zandt on the inside. It was like one of the first ones that when Judy started that foundation, I guess that in 2004 is when he got that hat, and then also he got the flag the same day, and I was still working with him in 2004, so I remember when they were there and they were back there. I was doing production, so I wasn't involved with the equipment, so I was back there and everything, and kind of remember the whole thing. I don't exactly remember it, but I was back there and saw him and cousin Figel and his son was like
You
12.
remember cousin Figel?
From back then, yeah, and his son, I remember him and his son
Oh,
being there.
yeah.
Yeah, that's I talked to him. They were
Cool.
back there, and Johnny walked after the concert. Johnny walked out, and they were still out there. And Johnny walked out and handed cousin Figel, his son, the flag, and it was one of the last ones that Johnny used to tie on the mic stand. Yeah,
Did
so.
he send you pictures of the hat and the flag,
He
or
sent me pictures of all that, but I didn't really know we were gonna talk that much about it. Or I just found out. It's a white one, and it says in memory of Ronnie. And like I said, it was one. It was the first one that Judy, I guess, had the Texas Hatters as the Texas Hatters had Texas Hatters make, and it was like a copy of Ronnie's hat, and it's got the rattlesnake band and the rattler on it, and it's a 6 7/8 or a 7/A. It's 120 inches of circumference around the inside of the hat. So I didn't know. All I know is Ronnie's head was smaller than mine because I couldn't put his wear his hats, but I didn't know what size it was. I thought it might be a 7 3/8, I think I said, and it's even smaller than that. It's a 7. It's not even a 7, probably.
So Ronnie could have wore it. It was his size, Ronnie's size.
It's Ronnie's size, yeah. It's
Yeah.
Ronnie's size, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a 7. It's a 6.
Well, that's pretty cool. Judy got it. That's his wife, and
That's as close as you're gonna get. I'm
yeah,
having
man. Yeah.
have Texas Hatters made. It's Ronnie. It's one of the white ones, but
And you got a bid on it already.
got a bid on it. Yeah, the same guy. He said how I because I said we wanted to get at least 2,500, and he said I'll bid 2,500. And then I said, well, we're just kind of mentioning it right now. And I said, but we're going to keep, take other bids. And he said, well, I'll bid 3,500. So I said, well, we're just kind of taking offers right now for it, but, the this guy that wants it, he just said, he wasn't even going to wear it, he just, but,
So, cousin Figel, there you go, man.
What
You
size
got a
it was,
bid.
he wasn't going to wear it. Do what?
Yeah, your cousin Figel got a bid already. Then that's good.
Yeah.
And so, if anybody wants to put a bid, they got to top that. Can they top it by $1?
I don't know. It depends on the cousin Figel what he wants for it.
Yeah.
But we've already got a bid on the flag too. I don't know. A couple $100, I think. I don't know, something like that.
Well, that's a start, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool. And anything else you got to talk about, Craig? You got some money that you're going to send out pretty soon or something?
Yeah. We still got money coming in, so we're trying to get a grand total up, so we can, kind of, come up and say, hey, yeah, we took in another, there's such and such amount of money, and everybody got this amount of money, instead of, well, it's easier this way. I just came up with an Excel sheet. I got it to, figure out exactly who gets what,
Well, when
All
Gene
written down.
came over the other day, I had him sign some stuff, and I figured that we'd take some of that stuff and use it as giveaways on the, like we can add it to some of the prizes that like what we just did,
Got
like
a
a
lot of
drawing.
stuff to give away with
Yeah.
with oh boy, with Dave the disciple.
Yeah.
Dave the
Yeah.
disciple, he's always sending me stuff
Yeah. He sent me this
send
shirt.
out. All kind of stuff. He sent me a whole thing of decals today, all kind of different ones. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. I get all kinds of stuff. I mean, I get stickers and
Oh yeah,
posters, and I got the sorry we're stoned thing here, and I got a whole pile of shirts back there. And he hasn't been feeling too good. He's got I think he had the funk, and then he's got like some back issue going on and some sciatica. So the poor guy, man, he's been kind of out of it. And then he was telling me about how Mark Frank wasn't returning his call. Come to find out, Mark Frank had a stent put in his heart, and so I guess he's doing okay now, doing better, and he's home resting. And then wheelchair Chuck, he's still in the hospital, I guess, huh? Have you talked to him, Craig?
yeah. He said he wrote me and he said he was had it on, and the nurses were in there, and he was saying, hey, listen to these two guys, the Stone Roadie. And
Yeah.
he said, as soon as I started, told him to start listening to him, you guys started talking about me in the hospital. And they said, he couldn't believe it. It's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's that one little video that he sent me of him receiving his package that he won. You remember when he won he was the first winner, wasn't he, Craig?
Yeah, by accident.
Yeah, by
Yeah.
accident. Yeah.
I was thinking of the number 77 when I was looking at looking for number 79. And yeah.
77 for the year the plane crashed.
Yeah, because I kind of chose 77 as being a winner, and then 79 was a winner, and when I was looking at the sheet, it was 77 and 79 were close, so I looked at 77, thought I was looking at 79. I was stoned, so.
Yeah, so we gave two prizes
So
away that
yeah,
day.
so we had to give away two prizes since we announced the wrong one. So
And then
turned out.
Wheelchair Chuck, I think well, you were talking about how you could back when you were in the hospital after the plane crash, you were walking, you had learned a long time ago how to pop a wheelie in a wheelchair, and you were doing that at the hospital there in Gillsburg, and then somehow you guys got into a race, a match. You're gonna go down to some speedway or something and have a race, and then Wheelchair Chuck started getting ready for the race and training, and he was lifting some weights or something and did something to himself, and he's in the hospital.
Yeah, back a long time ago, I had a wheelchair, and I got real good at balancing myself on the rear wheels. And that was something a bunch of us guys used to do. Have tournaments who could do stuff in the wheelchair on the back wheels. So I got pretty good at it. I'm still pretty good at it. So I think that's what the challenge was. But I don't know if he'll be up to it now. He's kind of
Yeah,
hurt
I mean,
himself in training.
yeah, he got
Even
all excited and he was emailing me and saying, "You better be here," And I guess what did he do that he put himself in the hospital?
he's lifting weights or so. He said he was training. He's lifting weights or something to do. I don't know.
But did he hurt his
I don't
neck
know what
or?
he did. I don't know what he did. He
Yeah,
did.
tell us what you did there, Wheelchair Chuck. Unless it's something like you pulled a groin muscle or something. I don't know, man. If it's too private to talk about, but
Well, he can't feel nothing down there, so it's hard to tell what he did. If he.
yeah, I mean, it's like, but sometimes, like, I know a guy. He was in a wheelchair and he got too close to a fire and he burned himself and he didn't know it. I mean, sometimes when you hurt yourself and you
Well,
don't
that's what I'm
know it.
saying. He has muscles down there he uses, I guess, but he can't feel them. I don't know because he's paralyzed down there.
Yeah, whenever that creates a lot of other problems too. I mean, because there's injuries that you can have you don't know you have, and that makes it even worse.
Yeah,
So
lifting weights you can cause internal problems. Yeah,
yeah, so
I don't know. I'm
wish
not a
wish him the
doctor.
best.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a podcaster either, but I
Yeah.
try.
Well, I guess you got anything else to talk about? We can jump into the comments and questions, and then move into the on the
Yeah,
road.
yeah. Let's just do that. We're kind of good. We're backwards today, so
Yeah, it's Friday, so everybody's probably at work and they're all excited. They got the weekend off and they've already got some plans. And then their boss is coming up to them here in a little while and going, by the way, we need you to go ahead and come in on Saturday.
We're probably getting the ones now that are just now tuning in halfway through the show, so they'll getting right up to watch the giveaway at the end.
Yeah,
Then
they
they're
think
gonna
they
get a
can wait.
surprise.
Yeah, so if you just tuned in, you missed it, man. Too late.
Yeah.
You don't even know what the number was. And we'll say it again at the end of the podcast. Yeah, so let's jump of course we got a lot of good comments and stuff, and and we always do. And we appreciate everybody sending in comments and questions and things. And got some new people in here, and a lot of the same of the old people. A wheelchair Chuck right off the out of the gate. He's got a question. I guess he's laying around in the hospital bed. And I get like a bunch of comments, and I only write down 20 because Craig and I don't want to stay on too long. So if I skip over some, I just kind of go through them and pick ones out that some of them that are things that we've already covered on older podcasts, and we don't want to go over them again. So if you see I left you out, that's maybe the problem there. So, yeah. Wheelchair Chuck. He was, and we kind of talked about this in other podcasts, but not exactly. It was more, did Ronnie Van Zant kind of, did he like somebody in particular more that he hung out with in the band? But this is a question that he's asking. Did Ronnie have any other bands that he toured with that he liked more than others? Do you know, Craig? And he says, like, for
Yeah,
instance,
Charlie. Yeah,
Frampton or The Who.
yeah, Charlie and Marshall Tucker and all those southern bands. He got along with all those guys pretty good.
So, like, whenever you guys,
Outlaws, all those bands that we toured with a lot of those bands. So he just got along with them.
so he got along better with them. They were more like, they were country boys. So I guess they, had the same kind of likes and
Yeah,
dislikes.
probably better got along with them better than bands from New York City, probably, or LA.
Yeah, because he's used to it. Well, I mean, I know Charlie Daniels, and they were like good friends. Um,
Hmm.
I heard somebody talking about. Oh, it was Artemis Pyle was doing an interview, and he was trying to get Neil Young on that record that he did, Dolly Parton, and he's actually was trying to get something going with Neil Young, and I don't know if he ever contacted him, but and you told me one time Neil Young sent Ronnie some lyrics and said, "Look these over," and you got to look at the lyrics, didn't you? And you were like, "I don't
Ronnie
know,
showed
man."
them to me. He goes, "Greg, look at this." I looked down at Ronnie. That shit don't make no sense. He goes, "Neil Young give me this stuff." He goes, "You think he's fucking with me?"
It might have been a damn
And
hit,
then the next album that Neil Young come out with was all that weird shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was that one that didn't do that well.
It was all that weird shit. Yeah. And it was
Yeah.
right after. It was right after that. Yeah. It
But
was fun.
I guess they were pretty good friends for him to send him some lyrics like
They,
that.
they were in contact. I wouldn't say they were good friends. They were in contact.
And I say, I remember an album that it wasn't bad. It was just not the same I was used to as far as Neil Young. He had so many great hits, man. I love Neil Young. He's an awesome writer. Um, and then Wheelchair Chuck said that you would be proud of him. They're killing him in the hospital. Maybe they're not feeding him as much as he wants to eat or something.
Probably not. Yeah.
He might be on the shame diet there.
Well,
So
if he told him he was working out, trying to get in shape, they probably trying to help him out, by losing some weight. That'll get you in shape too.
yeah, we'll have to find
Give you
out.
more lung capacity and stuff. I think. I don't know. I'm no doctor.
Well, his real name's Ronnie, isn't it? It's not. It's not Wheelchair Chuck, isn't it? Ronnie? What's his real name?
Um,
Send me an email there,
Chuck.
Wheelchair
It's
Chuck. Let me know
Chuck.
how you're
Ain't it?
doing, man.
It's Chuck. Ain't
Is it
it?
Chuck? I don't know,
Yeah.
man. Like I said, I got so many emails and texts and things. I can't keep it straight. And
I think it's Chuck.
then we got comment from Homer Hancock, and he's saying, Gene said that as far as the dock out at Hell House, because I had that video of me and Gene out at Hell House. He said that Gene said that there was another dock that was actually rebuilt on top of the old dock, and yes, that is true. Um, but Gene would go over there to the dock, and there was, like, if you listen to that video when I was there with Gene, and he was pointing underneath the dock wood that we were standing on and saying the original dock is underneath this dock, and somehow Gene was lifting up those new boards and pulling out the original boards, and he got them, just about all of them, out of there somehow, and he was going to bring one of them over to the house when he came, but his grandson threw it in the trash when he cleaned out the shed. He said, my grandson, we cleaned out the shed, and he took that, and I think he took that board to the dump. So there's a piece of Hell House wood where Ronnie Van Zant stood and fished and wrote all those songs, Sweet Home Alabama and Call Me the Breeze and Working for MCA and all that stuff. And now it's laying in the dump somewhere. Hopefully it isn't. Maybe he can find it. And I hope he does. Oh, you got a little gift, didn't you? What does that say? Truffles?
Truffles, yeah.
And what's in there, Craig?
Little nuggy buds.
Yeah.
Yeah, this stuff here.
And let me see here. We got next. Yeah, so back to that Homer Hancock. Yeah, you're right. That Gene, that was not the original dock on top where we were standing. It was underneath. But that whole dock has been ripped out of there, as far as I understand. And Craig says they're building a house there now. So, and Doug Harris, he asks, did Johnny Van Zant band, Rossington Collins band, and Blackfoot ever tour together?
I'm sorry, I was coughing. Did Johnny Van Zant band and
Rossington Collins and Blackfoot ever tour together?
No.
No?
No.
There you have it, Doug. That would be a no. Wonder why.
They did some shows together. I don't think Johnny ever did any shows with us. Remember, maybe one.
Yeah.
Remember, no. But yeah, Blackfoot did some shows with Rossin and Collins, I think, but never a tour.
To kind of jump out of context, I was talking to your son, Chad, earlier today, and I was telling him about the one question that, and I forget who it was, I got it in my notes here, that asked about, Ronnie punching Billy and knocking his teeth out. And then, there had to be some tension the next day over that. And Chad said, well, Billy probably called him a short son of a bitch or something. He said those guys were always picking at each other. And he goes, they didn't get mad at each other because they were always picking on each other. And that's what happened. It wasn't, he was probably digging at Ronnie saying, hey, you short son of a bitch. And Ronnie punched him in the teeth. And then the next thing you know, he's missing his teeth and they're laughing about it. Yeah.
That's what I said. They were laughing about it.
Yeah, he said they were always digging at each other, they were always, it was never a normal conversation. It was always some kind of jab and banter going on. And if you had a thin skin, you weren't going to make it, man.
Yeah, that's what the question was. And I said, yeah, there was really no ruckus about it. It was just always, yeah, well, Ronnie knocked Billy's teeth out.
Because they're always ass grabbing, you know. They were they were always
Yeah, Ronnie knocked Billy's teeth out. Well, what happened? Ronnie knocked Billy's teeth out.
and Billy went and got some new teeth the next day at the dentist, and then the next
Yeah.
thing happened. Well, they picked on Chad said they picked on Ronnie just as much as Ronnie picked on them. It wasn't like, you know, they were always so it wasn't like Ronnie was the bully and he was going around saying, "You better do what I say." You know, they would play tricks
Trouble
on him.
was, when Ronnie would get drunk, he would remember it.
Yeah, and
It
Chad
wouldn't
said,
bother him till he got drunk. Then he would remember all that shit.
and a lot of people said Ronnie wouldn't stop. I mean, you could beat Ronnie up, but you better pack a lunch because he's gonna fight you, and if you get him down, he'll get up and he'll hit you with something. So yeah,
Come up and
so
you bit off a piece of my ear.
yeah, he did bite because I know that for a fact because Joe Barnes showed me where Ronnie bit a hunk of looked like a piranha, took a chunk right out of his damn belly before he tried to throw him off the plane.
Yeah.
So yeah, that going back to that, you know, I don't know what made me think about that, but um, another guy, I guess he was waiting on the fishing trip, and he says, "I hope Gene doesn't turn into a Gary hating outing." Because Gene does talk. Gene talks shit about everybody, man. You know, you ever seen that one video, Gene, on YouTube, and then somebody's interviewing, and they're naming everybody in the band, like their name. Okay, let's
Oh yeah,
start
I
with
saw
Billy.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's start with Billy Powell, and it's so
Well,
old.
the whole thing, the whole premise was, Gene, tell me about Billy Powell. Gene, tell me about
Yeah,
Leon. Gene,
yeah.
tell me
Tell
about.
me, you know, critique
What
each
do you
one of the
think? What do you
guys.
think about Alan? What do you think about Yeah, the whole thing.
And Gene didn't hold back. Well, Billy Powell
No,
was a
no, not a
raging alcoholic, and
bit.
he was just, you know, he was just going on and just cutting them all down, you know. And I was telling Chad that I remember we were in a restaurant. Gene and I were in a restaurant, and we were barbecue. We were having barbecue because Gene likes barbecue, and some lady had a walker, and she was over there complaining about her. She was sitting down complaining about her meal and her waitress. And Gene looks over there and he looks at me, you know, and he's said, "Damn Yankee," you know, and he's like, you know, he's just sitting there. And then so we get up to leave, and there's a line of people waiting to pay their bill. And that same lady is up there complaining about the bill. And, you know, and I'm trying to distract Gene because I know he's going to say something. And sure enough, "Hey, what the hell's going on up there? You need to move this line along," you know. And the lady, the waitress or the cashier goes, "Just hold on, sir. We're trying to work a bill out." And he goes, "You need to tell that damn Yankee to take that damn shit outside. We got to pay our bill and get out of here." And then everybody in the restaurant looks over at Gene and he goes, "What the hell y'all looking at? Somebody got to say something." Damn Yankees coming down here ruining my state. So you don't know if you go with Gene somewhere, you might be getting in a fight. Oh my God. He's crazy. And, you know, when we went fishing, you know, it was a hell of a day, I tell you what, but you get to see it. It was good though. It was a good day. So yeah, yeah. Gene didn't talk about Gary at all. As a matter of fact, I think, you know, when we were at the house before we left, he has good things to say about Gary sometimes, you know, and even though he was standing on his grave cutting him down on that last video, he was picking trash up off the grave. You notice that? He's talking about, yeah, that damn Gary, he was this and he was that, and he's like, "Well, get this trash out of here." You know, I think everybody really loves each other, but they just talk shit. So it's a crazy group of people, I'll tell you that right now. Oh, crazy Kimmy, Greg, she says, "Yes, I am on the Craig diet."
All right, Kimmy.
Yeah, she's on, and she's been kind of like I've been understanding her comments lately. I think she, I think whatever she was smoking, she must have either switched to sativa or something because Kimmy, yeah, I can understand your stuff. I mean, before you were kind of rambling, and and she goes and she says, "Thanks, Griff. I was called Crazy Kimmy in school." Ah, so we ain't picking on you, Kimmy. We appreciate you. You know, it's a crazy world out there. You know, we're all a little bit crazy. The craziest son of a bitch is that Joe Biden. Oh, let us go
People
here.
that support him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And user says that he rides his bike on the Indian River Road daily. Well, that's where I got hit by that damn car, and that jogger found me. And I remember, see, I had amnesia back when that car hit me. I don't remember any of it. And the doctor told me, he said, you know, one day you might start remembering some stuff because I never did know how the car hit me. And then I remembered a damn dog was chasing me, and I was looking at the dog and I wasn't looking where I was going. And that's how the car hit me. It was a damn dog chasing me. Um, but I guess must live by the Indian River where I used to ride my bike. And he says he rides and I think, oh, user, hey, look, man, you ain't fooling me. I think he's a Trump hater, but he don't like Biden either. So he's always teasing you about Trump. So so user, we got your number, man. We got your number. Just as long as you know, damn liberal, you're a liberal. I ain't gonna be saying any of your comments or questions, because I ain't gonna be catering to
Trump's
no
an
liberal.
extrovert, man. Some people just don't like people that are extroverts, you know.
Oh, he's a perfect asshole, you know. But he's got the country in mind, and he's the man for the job. You don't want some that's like my surgeon that worked on me. He's a jackass, but I would never let anybody else touch me,
He
you
might
know.
not be the perfect man, but he's the perfect man for the job.
That's right. I mean, you don't care if the exterminator is a nice guy, as long as he gets the rats out of the basement. The way I look at it. Um, Autumn Honecker. That's a cool name. She or he or that's one of those androgynous. I don't know. It's like Pat. It could be. Wants to know why Tammy was left out after Ronnie died, and were they close before he died? I don't know
Tammy
anything
wasn't,
about that.
Tammy wasn't left out after Ronnie died. She got an even cut of everything.
Maybe she means that you never saw her or something. I don't know. But,
I don't know.
yeah, yeah, she was taken. I was told that anything she wanted, all she had to do was ask for it, and she got it. So,
Yeah, she couldn't control a lot of things in her life, from what I can see. Uh,
yeah, and I think she was married a few times and didn't really pick the right guys. But when you get in that rock and roll, you're the kid of a rock star. That's hard on a person, man. Just look at
all I know about it is from what I've heard, isn't very good, so I just won't comment on it.
yeah, just look at Hunter Biden. You know, I mean, the son of a president, and look what he's turned into. Okay, let me see. Let's go. Let's go to the next one. Oh, Jeff. He says, "Will the stoned roadie soup help fat people?" He didn't say fat people, fat effers. Will the stoned roadie soup help fat effers lose weight? Post the recipe, please. Well, that's how you lost the weight, ain't it, Craig?
Well, eating stuff like that. Just about everything in the Stone Roadie soup is stuff that I liked. Plus the kind of I don't know, Mexican type of I don't know thing. I know it's
Well,
the
give us a little
way I
hint
make it.
about what's in it.
It's got cayenne, and a lot of just but a lot of cabbage.
And you put salad dressing in there, some kind of,
Yeah, I
don't
put
you?
a family size thing of bushbone zesty Italian dressing in it. I don't know. When I'm trying to, when you're just eating vegetables, I was putting spicy Italian dressing on, and stuff, just, to make it not so bland. So when I started making that soup, I went, well, God, I put that dressing on vegetables to make them not so bland, like cucumbers and stuff. Just put them in my soup.
I
But
remember
I don't put cucumbers on my soup.
I remember back when I had a girlfriend and you came and stayed with me that weekend and she made some soup and left it in the refrigerator. Well, Craig was getting in that soup like a backhoe, man. He wiped out that whole, it was that tomato bean, it's like, I forget what kind of beans it was in there, but it had like, it had some tomato juice in there. It was good soup. And Craig said, man, this is just like my soup. And so yeah, Craig's he got me going on the soup thing too for a while. And I do still make soup. I don't make the Stone Roadie soup. And I did try putting a zesty Italian in there, and that does give it a good flavor.
Yeah,
Um,
I put
you know.
cinnamon. I put I make quite a bit of it, but I put a tablespoon of cinnamon and Italian seasoning, and a bunch of lemon pepper.
Yeah, well, he wants to know, can you post the ingredients? You did that one time on
Yeah, I've
Facebook.
done it on Facebook. Yeah, I've done it a
Yeah,
few.
well, you get a chance, put it back on there because maybe Autumn Honecker is a friend of
I
yours
use a
on.
lot of purple cabbage, though. A lot of it.
Yeah, because I remember our friend Kathy said that after you boiled the cabbage, you were trying to figure out could you use the water to dye a shirt with.
I tried to, yeah. I tried to use that purple
She,
dye that cabbage used to dye a white shirt. Yeah, didn't work. But that's the coolest color, purple. I'm gonna try to dye something with it.
that's like a friend of mine. He had a bunch of pot seeds back when we were in school, and I went over to his house one day and I go, man, what the hell is that smell? And he was in there trying to pop the pot seeds like popcorn, thinking that he could make some popcorn, and it didn't work. You know,
Popcorn.
man, why wouldn't it work? It, he had the oil in there and it was stinking, it was burning, there wasn't nothing
Oh
popping.
my God. I never heard that one, boy.
Yeah, he thought that was a good try. I thought, well, yeah, it makes sense. I know, wished I'd have thought of it if it worked, and you just sit there and eat it and get the munchies and get high all over again. All right. So yeah, Craig, you need to put that soup recipe up on Facebook so Jeff can see that. Let me see here. Oh, and Jeff also says, because I remember we were talking about whenever Craig kicks the bucket and Tanner getting all of his stuff, and I said that I'm kind of like not wanting to leave any of my stuff in a will just so I can look down from the pearly gates and watch everybody fighting over my shit. And he says, yeah, when somebody dies, family members always getting feuds and arguments, which my
Oh yeah.
sister died last year. And oh my God, yeah, my sister's fighting with my nephew and my niece, and everybody's fighting now.
Oh yeah.
I just
It
said,
happened.
I don't want any of that shit. I already got too much crap in my house now. I don't want any of it, so y'all take it and fight over it all you want. I mean, there were cars and stuff, and I just said, keep it. I don't want any of it. So, okay, let me see here. Oh, Doug Harris wants to know, have we heard from Mike Estes lately? You talked to
No,
him,
I
didn't you,
haven't
Craig?
heard him from him
No?
since my birthday in February. Yeah, I haven't heard from him. Yeah.
Yeah, I know he was sick there for a while, and then a tornado hit his house or something,
Yeah. Tornado hit his house. Yeah.
messed up his studio, and
Took out his whole studio, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, so he's kind of going through some crap there for I'll text him. I'll send him a text and see how he's doing. He usually always answers my text, but I just haven't texted him in a while, and I'll just text him and check on him and see. I'll just say, hey, man, we're not trying to get you on the podcast, so don't worry about it. We just want to know how you're doing. He's funny as hell. He's a cool guy, man. He is a cool guy. He's the kind of guy, you can hang around with him and have a good time. You can just tell. He's just a heck of a guy. Um, Let me see here. Oh, uh, Joe Mueller, he says the Doors were at the Whiskey A Go Go for some time, but they got fired. Yeah, Slicks and Revolver, they're September 27th. They're going to the Whiskey A Go Go, and we talked about that in the last podcast. And Joe Mueller saying that I guess there was a lot of big names there, right, Craig?
Yeah, there's God, everybody's played there.
Yeah,
My
Eagles and everybody.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of people have played there.
So if you got your foot in the door there, you're doing pretty good. Congratulations, Slicks and Revolver and Brandon Miller, and don't do like the Doors, and get thrown out of there and get fired. Um,
That's a little
oh,
place, man. It's small. It's
yeah,
Yeah, it's really small.
but it's been there a
Oh, it
long
don't
time.
hold 350 people.
Back
It's
in the
small.
heyday, that was the place to go.
Oh yeah, everybody's played there.
It must have some good acoustics in there.
It's
Skinner
just
played in there,
it's
didn't
right
they?
there on the Sunset Strip. It was just a cool hangout
Did Skinner
back
play in
in
there?
the day. Yeah. Skinner played there. We
Yeah.
played there with uh, uh, Grand Graham Central Station. Was it? Yeah. I think so.
And then
1974.
Winslow Red Cross, whatever name that is, he says, or they say, or she says, that the guitarist that played the Explorer in Johnny Van Zant's band, they believe it was Eric Lundgren.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Eric Lundgren. That's right.
Yeah, see, we appreciate people that when Craig can't remember stuff, stuff like that. Now it makes sense, don't it, Craig?
Yeah. I know. I know that's his name. I just can't remember it sometimes.
And that's when Lacey was playing a judge, and it was a video, and Lacey was a judge, and this guy did Alan's place, and um, excuse me. See, Kent Griffith, which he goes by Kagi, and man, oh Kent, man, you put some long ass comments on there, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I ain't got time to read it all the way, but I'm sure that other people read that. But he says he was talking about the fishing reel that Ronnie used to use, that Red Ambassador. He says that if you look at the Pepsi tribute, he says that they were both, I guess, Gary and Ronnie both were using those Red Ambassador reels in the Pepsi tribute. Now that Kent Griffith, man, that guy, he knows a lot of stuff. He
Yeah, those are real popular reels. Yeah, there's
Yeah, he's
big casters. Yeah,
he'll go look
bass
something up.
fishing.
Like if he don't like know what something is, he'll like a bulldog. He'll go look it up and find out what the hell. Um, I just don't have that kind of time. I mean, by the time, we do the podcast and I try to go cut my grass and pay my bills and have some kind of a social life, I just don't have a lot of time to read emails and texts and stuff like that. Mike Neighbors
A
wants
lot of people
to.
don't like those bait casters. They're a little tricky sometimes. You get a little backlash.
That's what was happening uh, when Gene and I went. You can see Gene's foot. He had my little Shimano reel, and he
Uh-huh.
was throwing that spinner bait out there, and it kept backlashing. If you don't get it just the right tension, and that pisses you off, man.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta kind of drag your thumb along there and kind of stop.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
very picky. Um, Mike Neighbors, he says we need to do a wake and bake on Tuesday and Thursday too.
Yeah, right.
Just tell him, man, we ain't got that time,
Yeah,
man. We're
yeah. We could do them every day if we just did them about 15 or 20 minutes. That'd be all right. Wouldn't be much difference.
yeah. Well, and then somebody was mentioning something about do them at night. It don't matter, man. It's still, because I got to go through and check all the comments and write them all down and go through them. And then, if I got it on the road and I got to edit everything and send it to Craig, and then Craig has to put it on YouTube, and it takes time, man. It's not like a little easy little deal, and then we got to try not to say something stupid, piss somebody off. Because
Oh, God. I
Lord
don't
knows
worry
I
about
know I can piss people off real fast saying something
I
stupid.
I read somebody read one the other day. Did you and Griff color coordinate for today's show? I
I
just
didn't see where we had the same shirt or anything. Do
I
you?
don't either. I just laughed. I said, "Yeah, that's about the least thing we worry about. What each other's gonna wear."
Yeah, I didn't. I think I don't call Craig and go, "Hey, Craig, what you wearing,
Yeah,
man?"
what are you wearing? Yeah, you got a match. Yeah.
Yeah, I was back there looking at all those shirts that Dave the Disciple sent, and I put this one on, the NASA, because we were talking about the NASA. I'm a NASA roadie, and then I put that blue tape across there because that meatball is trademarked, and if you show that, they might kick us off of YouTube, especially if you're talking about a stoned roadie in NASA. That's why, that's why I put that tape over there. Also, it's kind of like the cops with that blue thing on their badge. It's in sympathy or in mourning, and I'm in mourning over NASA now. So because some of the shit that I hear they're doing ain't real, like moon landings. So we're kind of getting to the end here. Let me see. User says Mark Howard's podcast, True Stories Backstage, True Backstage Road Stories, is how he discovered the Stoned Roadie show. Well, that's great, and if you guys haven't ever seen Mark Howard's page, go over there and look at the True Backstage Road Stories. And Mark Howard's got a really good channel. And what he does is he has a bag, and he has all of these old stage passes that he, back when he was doing lighting, and he'll reach in the bag and he'll pull a stage pass out and he'll tell some stories about it. And that's a crazy son of a bitch, that Mark Howard in it. What a nice guy, man. He is like fun to be around, fun to talk to. Uh, yeah, he's a cool guy, and of course, he lost his leg, and he's a tough guy, and uh, he's got great positive uh, thoughts about everything he does. So he's not moping about anything. He's over there being a tough guy with that issue that he's dealing with. And maybe he can join you and Wheelchair Chuck in a race, Greg. He's liable to beat you though, man. That
I
he's
don't know.
crazy.
I don't know if he's proficient in wheelies or not.
I know he's having trouble with his incision getting infected there. I hope he got that squared away. Mike Neighbor says that Mark Howard's subscriptions are higher than us because he doesn't offend 80% of his viewers, in his opinion.
Oh well.
Well, I don't think that's what it is, really. I think Craig and we just don't know exactly. We have time to do the podcast, but we don't have time to go on there and and do all those little extra things that you're supposed to do with your channel to so people can see it, the tag words and things like that. I mean, we don't really even care. We just want to get the information out there and let it do what it's going to do. Um, so let me see here. That's that's it. Just other than a lot of people are saying prayers for cousin Figel. A lot of people are commenting, hoping that he's doing good and out of pain, and that's about all you can hope for. So that's it on all the questions and comments, Craig.
Cool. Well, I guess we'll just call it a day then. And
So just to set up on the Gene Odom video when we're fishing, he comes over to my house and I show the painting, and he writes something cool on the back of my painting. Not sure what I'm going to do with that thing yet. I still wasn't quite finished with it. As a matter of fact, if you look at Gene's eye, he told me, he goes, "Damn, how'd you know?" He goes, "Why'd you put my eye missing uh, in the painting?" I said, "Well, I ain't quite finished with it yet." And then he signed some stuff, and and then we went out fishing, and you guys just have to watch it. And it's a pretty good little video of Gene if you want to see some Gene Odom. So we'll just roll the footage, Craig.
all righty. Well, let me see here. Trying to find my little things here. Oh, I ain't gonna worry about it. Oh, there it is. Huh. How about that? There it is. All right. All right. Well, this is the end of the Stone Roadie show. I guess we're out of here, and happy trails to you. And see you later, alligator. And cut.
Okay, normally it's on the road with Griff Martin, but this time it's at the house with Griff Martin and Gene Odom. And Gene's here sitting down, and we're going over some stuff. He just signed a bunch of posters, and he's getting ready to sign. He signed something else with this copy of this airplane, and we're gonna kind of give some of this stuff away on the podcast. But Gene said there's some inconsistencies on this right here. Gene, what is it that you see that's not really right on this drawing here?
All right, let's start from the front. I'll explain everything as I go. This would have been right. This would have been a little closet, and the door we never used, and this was the bathroom area, lavatory, and this, they got buffet here, but this was the little galley where the cooler was, a built-in cooler, and here, this little section here, there would have been a wall right there. That was instrument panels and stuff for the plane. And this couch is not exactly drawn right, but it's good enough. You could push it forward, and it backed up against this wall where Steve and Dean were. Dean was here and Steve was here. You push this up against the wall, because let's say seat 5 was against that wall, seat 1 was against that wall, and then that would bring these 3 seats closer to this. There was no wall here. They got a wall there. There was no wall there, and there was no wall here. And this was the poker table, which that's
pretty accurate. And then the table with 2 people across, that's pretty accurate. But you would bring this forward several feet to make this shorter. And the stairway was here, and it would lower down, and you would walk down the steps underneath the plane. This is not right. This would be solid back here. The storage, all of this would have been storage on both sides. There was a little, let me see if I can remember right. There was a little John engine, a little 8 horsepower engine on one side, I think on this side, and storage on the other side. And you could put suitcase or whatever back here. And this was the back of the plane where the wings would have been here. But this stairway that went down would have been in this area. But basically
But it's pretty close other than those things.
It's pretty close. If you didn't know the difference, you wouldn't never know the difference. But it's pretty close. You just move everything forward a little bit.
Yeah, so this came from Larry Tate, Dave the Disciple, we call him on the podcast, and he prints these out. And if you want to, Dave, you can make corrections to that, and that's why we recorded it, so Gene could straighten that out for you. And then underneath there, you got the poster, and you were going to describe who all that was.
Oh yeah, okay. This would have been Chuck Flowers, Skynyrd crew member. I can't remember these 2 guys' names. They were sound and lights. That's Leslie Hawkins, Billy Powell, Kevin Elson, Craig Reed. Artimus was behind Ronnie. This is Ronnie. That's Cassie, Steve, Joe Barnes, Gary Rossington, Dean Kilpatrick, Alan Collins. I can't remember his last name. John something. JoJo, Ron, and Leon Wilkerson, Ron Eckerman. And I understand this kid was one of Artemis's boys.
Yeah. So we're gonna, Gene signed this, or he's gonna sign it, or he did sign it, and then we're gonna donate this to the podcast, and along with that Convair 240 schematic that's been corrected. But
this is it. If it wasn't me, nobody would correct it. But
yeah,
it's not that far off to show you how it looked. And when Ronnie got on the plane that day and said that he needed to get some sleep, he'd been up all night. He had took 2 sleeping pills, and you couldn't lay. There was hardly 3 people on the couch: Kevin Elson, Gary, and Alan on the couch, and you couldn't lay on any of these seats. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna put you on the floor right under here. So Ronnie laid right down here under Alan, Gary, and Kevin Elson's feet. And so they could put their feet on the table. The table would have been a little bit longer. You could set your cold drink on the drink, or if you was with a beer or whatever on the table, or you could lean back on the couch and you could set your feet on the table. So I told Alan and Gary to put their feet on the table, and so Ronnie laid down here on the floor. And this is where he was at when he was asleep, unconscious for them 2 sleeping pills. When I got him up and set him between Alan and Gary. So Ronnie would have been in seat number 3 because I pushed him between Alan and Gary, and Kevin Elson was sitting in this seat. This seat would actually be curved a little bit. And if you sit on the couch against that wall on that curved part, you could actually turn a little bit and set your head against the wall here. And that was like a little armrest on the very end of it.
yeah, those little things, the kind of things that you remember from being on the plane, and how you used to have to get comfortable on there, I guess, huh, Gene?
Yeah, and one of these seats, Cassie was in one of these seats. Well, she was actually in one of these seats, and one of the guys sitting next to her told me that she wanted to sit on the aisle seat, so he changed seats with her.
Yeah, that was Kenny Peden.
He changed seats with her, and he knew that right when we started hitting the trees, she unsnapped her seatbelt.
Yeah.
And stood in the aisleway looking through the cockpit to see what happened. And Ronnie had been fighting with me. I got him up, got him off the floor, set him between Al and Gary, and he didn't know what the hell was going on. And I found out later that when I ran back to get to my seat, he unsnapped his seatbelt and stood up. So him and Cassie were jettisoned into these walls here, and the actual, what do you call it?
All the debris and all the...
No, the wheels.
Oh, landing gears, yeah.
The landing gear had been forced up and was not come up through the bottom of the plane. And Ronnie and Cassie probably hit that landing gear, and they were killed on impact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, and so the table might have came loose also.
And then all this that stuff that came flying forward.
Yeah, separate stuff. I was people's
personal items and things.
And I actually had a boom box on there. My boom box was, we'll tell you what happened to it. You know, it was probably jettisoned forward. And
okay, and then we got this thing here, and Gene came up with a pretty cool. This is the painting I did. This is Gene and Ronnie playing poker, and I kind of added a few things to it. I put some poker chips on the table, and I put some money in Gene's hand right there, a big wad of money. Yeah. And I said, Gene, I want you to sign this for me, because and I wanted him to come up with, in his own words, what he wants to write on the back of it. So what did you want to say on the back of that, Gene?
Playing poker with these hippies was, no, let's see. Yeah, playing poker with these hippies was like taking candy from a baby. You see all the money there in my hand? I'm right looking down going, yeah, you know.
Yeah, it looks, and this was taken from a screenshot that came from Craig's movies. So it's basically the same thing, but you couldn't see Gene's hand, so that's why I added all that other stuff in there, and then yeah, I wanted to get Gene to sign it, so yeah. In Gene Odom's handwriting on the rear of the canvas, which is going to be pretty cool.
Playing poker with these hippies was like taking candy from a baby.
You're a fast writer, Gene. He signed all of these prints and these posters that I had him sign, and he did all that in no time. Hold that up, Gene, beside you there, so we can get a good view of Gene Odom and Ronnie Van Zant playing poker now and then.
There's a real good possibility that this photograph, this shot, was actually the day of the crash.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Well, I appreciate you signing that, Gene. And then there's something else that we want to show over here too while we're at it. And Kenny Phillips, Gene will have to come over here, and we want to present this. I'll let you open that up, Gene, and this is on behalf of Kenny Phillips, and he's donating this to Gene to do whatever he wants to with it, and it's a dobro, and it actually has connections to Larry Junstrom, which we're not going to say how it has connections to Larry Junstrom, but it was in Larry Junstrom's home for some time, and one of his girlfriends had this, and so he decided to donate this to Gene because he met Gene back in the day. I don't know, Gene said he don't really remember Kenny, but Kenny remembers him, and he really likes Gene, and he wanted to make sure that the proceeds go to Gene. And Gene, you kind of decided what you wanted to do with it already, didn't you, Gene?
I think we're going to take it out to the monument for the October thing out there, October 20th, and auction it off out there, raffle it off or something. So somebody that knows how to play this thing can have some fun with it. I've never learned how to play it, you know.
Yeah, but that's a really nice gesture, and it's a really great shape. And
if somebody that sees this wants to make an offer on it, they can do that too. But you know, if I take it out to the monument, it'll help all of us.
And this warranty placard right here that comes with it I took it to the Strawberry Festival, and I had Oliver Anthony, Richmond, north of Richmond singer, sign that, and his guitar player Joey Davis signed it, so that ought to give it a little bit more worth, because it's kind of like a bluegrass thing, and those guys are in that kind of music, so I figured it would increase the value of it. So thank you, Kenny Phillips, and that's a pretty awesome thing. And there's another thing, I'm going to come back here in a minute, and there's another thing I want Gene to talk about that I have out in my garage, and I'm going to go get it. Okay, Gene, what do you have holding? I mean, I know what they are, but I just want Gene to describe what we have here, what we're looking at.
This cedar limb is part of the cedar tree that was right by the Hell House. When the people had whatever, then they cut it down, and me and Griff cut this off of it. And this is part of the support poles underneath the original railroad trestle where the album was shot. The photograph of the album was taken on the railroad tracks. This is was part of one of the supporting poles. Years later, they concreted all that up, and me and Griff took parts of one of the poles. We cut this, and this is original support pole for the old wooden railroad trestle down by the Hell's House.
Yeah, and those things, that thing kind of stinks of creosote on the Gene.
You only get that smell from railroad material.
Yeah.
This is a different smell than the wood that the X-bracing and stuff like that the Hell House dock was made out of.
And Gene was going to bring a piece of the Hell House dock, and he had intentions of bringing it. I was going to actually give him some money for it, and then it might be a chance it got thrown in the trash.
Well, my grandson cleaned out the shed, so it could be at the dump. But we'll try to find it.
Yeah, we'll have to report back later on that, see what comes of it.
The other grandfather might have it at his house.
Yeah. All right, Gene, thanks for the description on that, and now we're going to get ready and go fishing. All right, here we are out on the secret lake in a secret location where nobody can know. And Gene's throwing what are you throwing, a plug, Gene?
Spinnerbait.
Spinnerbait. Gene's throwing a spinnerbait, and Gene gets the thumbs up approval on the lake so far. He likes the way it looks. Not a lot of homes around it. And it's a nice clean lake in a secluded spot. So we're gonna go ahead and try to get rigged up. Gene's throwing a little spinnerbait, see what's gonna hit it before we start cheating with the live bait.
McGurk's Creek, where me and Ronnie used to fish as kids and used to bass fish there. One of our favorite bass fishing places in the world. McGurk's Creek there off of Temaquana Bridge. And on a curve, come by that curve, a couple of guys in a boat, speedboat, something like this thing, come flying by and had a skier. And the skier came over and on this side of the boat, and sprayed water on us and wet us. And they went by laughing, giggling, hauling ass, because we just had a little old teeny electric motor. And they went on around the bend, and we didn't know it, but the Marine Patrol had pulled them over for speeding. And no, excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself. They came back. They came back by and was coming over to spray us again with the skis. And I took my pistol and I pointed my pistol at him. Said, boy, I'll blow your damn brains out if you come by here again and spray me like that. And
now you told me you couldn't swim, right?
I still can't swim. If I fell in right here, I'd have a hell of a time making it to that bank. It would have to be dog pedaling and backstroking, and I probably wouldn't make it with my heart and everything, all that stuff. So the Marine Patrol pulled them over for speeding and that ski in that little creek. And they immediately said, there's a guy right around the bend there, pulled a gun on us. And then, here come the Marine Patrol flying up into the boat. I was in the front. And they run up there and they said, you got a gun? I said, yeah, laying right here. They said, don't touch it. We're going to get it, So he came up there, and he got the pistol. And he said, you put this pistol on those guys? I said, yeah, they tried to swamp my damn boat here, and I can't swim. He said, well, you're going to jail. That ain't no problem. The other guy, it wasn't Ronnie. I can't remember who it was now, his name. He said, yeah, I'll take the boat back and everything. So they took me to jail. And a little while later, I went to court in front of old Jesse Lay. Jesse Lay married me and my first wife, the two Marine Patrol guys. They were Marine Patrol because the city and the county had consolidated and turned the city of Jacksonville, the county, into the whole city limits of Jacksonville was the county of Duval. And so that laid off a bunch of, back then they were called Highway Patrol, County Patrol. And the city of Jacksonville had its own police officers, and Duval County had its own police officers. Someone went to work for the state patrol, and some people went to work for the Marine Patrol. These two police officers actually went to work for the Marine Patrol. And so they told the judge, yeah, he pulled the gun on the guys and this, that, and the other. And so I got to speak my turn. I told Jesse Lee, I said, Jesse, you know me, I can't swim. And they came by and swamped the boat. And then when they came by again to do it again, I pulled that pistol out and I said, I'll blow your head off. So he says, was the pistol loaded? I said, yeah, it had nine rounds in it. It was a 9-shot Ivory Johnson target pistol. I had 8 rat shots and 1 slug in it to get the water moccasins.
You still got that pistol, don't you?
I wish I had it. And the rat shot was to shoot water moccasins to keep them from getting in the boat. Water moccasins get in the boat, it'll run your ass out of the boat.
Oh yeah, I've had that before.
Yeah, and so we'd shoot them, get them out of the way. And so he says, and you pointed the gun at him? I said, yeah. I said, Jesse, I said, the creek's too small to be skiing in. It's not deep enough for as fast as they're running and skiing. I said, it's not wide enough for that. And they were actually breaking the law by speeding down in there and then trying to swamp my boat. So Jesse Lay asked the 2 guys, he says, is that creek that narrow down there and not that deep? Yeah, it is. He said, so it's against the law for them to do that, to be in there skiing and all this. They said, well, yeah, it could be. I said, ain't no could be about it. It is. It's too narrow. And then when they came back, and I said, the second time, I said, that's when they were attempting to drown me the second time, and I wasn't going to put up with it. If they tried it again, I was going to shoot him. I was going to put a stop to it, Jesse. So Jesse Lay tells them, says, do y'all have his pistol and ammunition? I said, yeah, we got it right in the box. Jesse Lay said, give it to him. I handed him my pistol and ammunition. I said, Gene, going home. Everything's good here. Those two guys were embarrassed. I walked by them and said, I teach y'all anything? You know, oh yeah. Son, I tell you, try to swamp me.
Yeah, well, you told him, you said you couldn't swim, and that's attempted murder.
I hollered at them when they come by. I said, man, don't do that. Swamp, well, I can't swim, you know. The other guy in the back of the boat could probably swim, but I couldn't swim. And it makes no difference. If you got to come by there and swamp my boat, one time, fun and games. But if you circle around and gonna come back and do it again, it ain't fun and games then. It's attempted murder side.
Why do you think they were doing that? Just
being kids.
Assholes?
Yeah, just being assholes. We couldn't catch them because we had an electric motor, you know.
Oh yeah.
And they were just going to swamp us and going down the road, you know. They just tried to swamp the wrong guy. But I taught them Marine Patrol guys a lesson.
Yeah, they thought they were going to get you.
And Jesse Lay taught me a lesson. Since I didn't fire the pistol. Yeah. If I'd have fired that pistol over the water, it would have became maritime law. That was tide water, meaning, you know, it's governed by the ocean. And he said, if you'd have fired that pistol, he said, it would have been under maritime law, and it wouldn't have been so easy to wash it out. He said, it makes no difference. I said, if somebody trying to kill me, I'm gonna eliminate the problem. But, you know, if you're going to fire a gun, don't fire it over the water because it's maritime law. Yeah. Water, there's a lot of water. There's a lot of what the hell am I trying to say? A lot of laws governed by water. This is not tide water. This is lake water. This is stationary. But anything that's a river, ocean, feeds it, and it's a river, and if that river goes up into a stream or goes up into your property, your house, that's still tide water. It's governed. Yeah. It's governed by federal laws.
Well, the Florida redneck law, when a guy's trying to drown your ass, that's the Florida redneck law.
Yeah, yeah. And Jesse said, would you have shot him? I said, I'd have shot him 9 times.
Ain't no such thing as Gene Odom bad luck. It's Gene Odom good luck. That's a little fish sandwich there, Gene.
It's Gene Odom gets skunked is a rare breed.
And what you using, a spinner bait there?
A green spinner bait.
Yeah, well, you didn't get skunked.
Nope.
Gene, you're going to have to tell that story about the Ronnie Van Zant's hat while we're on a high note.
Well, yeah. You're going to take my concentration off of my fishing. I wish I had that hat. Man, I wish I had that hat.
Yeah, it was a white one, wasn't it?
No, it's black.
Oh, it was black?
The white one was still in the road case.
Oh, I thought it was the white one.
No. How the story goes, that thing, let me get that out of there quick. Summer tour was over, and we was coming home. Judy they would pick me up, drop me off, because they come right by my house. And we were coming home on the summer tour. And Ronnie took his hat off, his Texas hat, out in the back seat. And he says, Gene, here's your souvenir, man. I said, man, I don't wear hats. He says, souvenir. Keep this, I got some more coming. I got new ones coming. And so I put it on my head, got home. I took it right in the house and hung it on my bedpost, one of my bedposts in my bed. And a couple of weeks we were home doing nothing, piddling. And he come over, him and Judy, And he says, he called me first. He says, hey, come to pick you up. We're going out to California for the photo shoot. And all right. So when they got to the house, we headed out to California for the Street Survivors photo shoot. And so we got to the set. Ronnie was expecting, to have his new hats, Texas hatters. So we put it around there for the photo shoot, and he said, hey, where's my hat? And Ron Eckerman said, they haven't came in. Ronnie said, I gotta have a hat. So George Osaki, MCA album director, whatever. So come on, we go into went into the country store or general store, they call it, where actors pick out what they want to wear. So Ronnie went in and picked out a hat. When it came out of the set, back outside, he stepped off of the set. It was a cowboy hat, had the cowboy grip on it. I said, now boy, you're a real cowboy. You got a pistol grip. He went, what? And he went, yeah, okay. So he turned the hat around backwards, and he wore the hat backwards in the photo shoot. And so we were going to get something to eat, and the hat was supposed to go back into the general store. And we got in a limousine. I said, hey, you got to take that hat back. He went, no, man. He said, here, you can have it. I said, no, you got to take it back to the general store. George Osaki's sitting right there. Ronnie said, George, Gene can have his hat, can he? And George Osaki said, yeah, you can have it, Gene. So I had the Street Survivors hat. So when I got home, I put that on the other bedpost. And so a couple of weeks, we were ready to go on to fall tour, Street Survivor tour. So he called me and said, hey man, we're coming to get you. All right. I'm in the house, and he runs out of his car, and he runs up the door, and he knocks on the door. He said, hey man, what's up? He said, hey, you got my hat. I said, which one? Street Survivors hat or the Texas Hatters hat? He said, I need my Texas Hatters. He says, I called Texas Hatters. They said my hats will be in. Man, look at how my hats will be.
Wow.
In, Baton Rouge. And so he gave me he wanted to borrow his Texas Hatter. So I put his Texas Hatter on him, and he was wearing the Texas Hatter on the plane when we had to crash.
Was that a black one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Texas Hatter, and that was my hat. But I didn't, and Judy got the hat back from somebody that got the hat off of the plane, and I gave it to Judy, and so she buried him with that hat.
I was always thinking it was the white one all that time.
And his fishing pole. So I didn't say anything to her because that was my hat. But since she buried him with it,
right?
You know, that's okay by me. You know.
Yeah.
You know, and so she buried him with that hat and his fishing pole.
Boy, that was a big splash over there, man.
It was. I was hoping I'd get him to hit this.
Yeah, we had to pull over here in this shade because we were baking.
Yeah, man.
And Gene said, I'm about ready to flip it to the other side now, and said we found the only shade tree in the whole lake. We got here a little early, and we had some shiners in the water, and I lost 2 good pulls, and then Gene just threw that spinner bait and got a little 1-pounder. But yeah, we have to see if we can't change our luck here.
Let me see.
Well, Gene, we just wrapped up our fishing trip, and did the fish beat you, or did you beat the fish?
Fishing whipped me today, no doubt. My hot sun, home again.
You didn't get skunked, though.
No, I caught one. We missed. No telling how big a bass we missed with them shiners, and they're getting up in them weeds. And
Yeah.
That one that wasn't paying attention to that run havoc with my line all through the
Well, you were telling, right when you were telling the hat story about Ronnie, that lunker took it down into the lilies and then it buried it down at the bottom of those lilies. But
still down there.
Ronnie was saying, hey, you guys need to be paying attention to what you're doing. Quit telling stories.
I usually try to pay attention, but gripping that camera, it's difficult telling a story.
But we had fun. No, that's the main thing.
Yeah, we had fun. We didn't get skunked.
No.
You know, and you hung a couple and missed them on them shiners, and I lost it, whatever.
But you had that spinner bait coming across there, and one nailed it.
Yep.
And there's a couple other guys fishing out here, and I don't think they caught anything, did they? So.
They said they didn't, you know. And
so yeah.
I feel good about catching one.
But now you got a long drive home, and
My back.
and the old back and the sciatica, so we need to wrap it up. And
I wish I could find somebody to drive me home, man.
well, Gene, you're a veteran driver, man.
You got to tell me which. I got to get to 559.
Yeah, I'll show you how to get out of here. All right, well, Gene, we're gonna do it again sometime, and we're gonna wrap it up. And
yeah, we'll do it again, no doubt about it.
And everybody they were asking for some Gene Odom footage, and they got it.
I'll take you one day with me and Ronnie fished as kids, and I'll show you how to catch some bass.
All right, I'm ready.
We'll go.
Yeah.
We'll go to Lake Delancey where he caught that 12-pound, 8-ounce one. And that bass was caught when it was out of season. If that bass would have been in season,
oh yeah, it would have been.
that bass would have been 18, 19 pounds.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Well, that was a big bass.
All right, Gene. Well, thanks for coming fishing, and I enjoyed it. And
Well, thanks for the ass whipping, Griff.
yeah, and then we'll do it
I ain't leaving
again.
anything, am I?
No, I think you got it all.